Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Magoon Squad show. So, a lot of stuff happened last night on Monday Night Football, of course. We had that going on, and then kind of recapping my two teams, the Saints and the LSU Tigers. I know I kind of did in the last episode, but I briefly talked about LSU, but I'm going to get into it a little bit more in detail here. But let's go ahead and start with the first topic here, right? Saints versus Eagles recap. Honestly, as a Saints fan, I didn't think that was a bad game. I mean, did we win? No, we lost by 3. But truly, honestly, kind of like looking at how we played, I really think we played a solid game. If we didn't allow that 65-yard run from Saquon, I think we probably would have won the game. It's one of those things though where Saquon kind of just killed us on the ground, having 17 carries, 147, and 2 touchdowns, and then also. The defense kind of letting Dallas Goedert get open in the secondary after the linebackers there. 10 catches, 170 yards. That big one in the fourth quarter that set them up to put themselves in the lead. I think it was a, let's see here. It was a Dallas Goedert 61-yard catch. That's what it was. Dallas Goedert 61-yard catch to the Saints 4. Barkley ran it in. And then, of course, Derek Carr threw a pick on the next drive. So, my thing, kind of like recapping this, Kamara didn't have a bad game, 26 carries, 87 yards. That's quite a lot of carries for not that many yards, only 3.3 yards a carry. Of course, 3 catches for 40 yards, though, so not bad there. Chris Olave stepping up, 6 catches, 86 yards. Rashid Shaheed had a quiet game, 0 catches, 0 yards on 5 targets. Kind of a quiet game from him. I feel like and that's what I was kind of interested to see. I'm interested to see how Rashid Shaheed did, because he hit those big plays and he hits those over the top big plays. But I was curious to see how he did when those plays were limited due to the Eagles' defense and how they adjusted through the offseason in passing defense wise. Kind of moving on though, Devontae Smith, 7 catches, 79 yards, had a big game. Really big from all them. It's just, and this kind of gets into my next topic here is, can Derek Carr find a way to stay consistent? Right, he had a first good week, second good week 2, and then week 3 came along and it was not great. My thing with Derek Carr is, even though he did turn the ball over against Dallas, 11 for 16, 243, and 2 touchdowns. Against the Panthers, 19 for 23, 200 yards, and 3 touchdowns. My thing is with Derek Carr is, and again, the offensive line didn't really help either. I'm gonna be honest, no shade to the Cowboys here. Just kidding, full shade. But I'm kind of just like thinking about it, and my opinion and kind of what I'm thinking is, like, now that we played a true front 7 that was able to get to the quarterback, our offensive line was tested. Didn't really have a great game blocking, but also looking at like I said, can Derek Carr stay consistent though? Last year it was ups and downs with him as well. 1 week he'd do 300, then 200, and then against Green Bay, 103 yards, Tampa 127, New England 183, and then he'll go back to 353 yards, 300 yards, 310 yards, 211 yards, and then have another fluke, 110 yards, back to 304, and you can get the gist. You get the pattern, right? You see the pattern I'm going with from last year. That was my biggest question coming into this year is, can Derek Carr stay consistent? Right now, from what I'm looking at, it seems like we're going back to that same wave. I kind of want to see a consistent play from Derek Carr. If 240 is your consistent play, that's fine. If that wins us games and puts us in positions to win, that's totally fine. That we're using Kamara more, Jamal Williams, and of course, Keandre Miller whenever he's back off of injury. So my biggest thing is, can Derek Carr stay consistent? That's Kubiak's biggest challenge, in my opinion, taking over the Saints offense as the coordinator. My biggest question and my biggest thing was, can they stay consistent? And so far right now, it's kind of looking like the same Derek Carr from last year, where there was some good games and then there were some not some good games, but there was no consistent play from Derek Carr. So I know it's just 1 week, and we can say that all the time, but track record shows that Derek Carr is a little inconsistent when it comes to his play. So my biggest thing is, can Kubiak find a way to get Derek Carr to play a consistent level of play that's just enough to win? Get Kamara involved more on the run game, get Jamal Williams and Keandre Miller when he's back from injury, get going. That's kind of where I'm at on that. I mean, there's a lot to take away good things, and there's a lot not good things to take away, like the interception towards the end of the game. I don't necessarily agree with that play. I mean, you have you have a minute. You basically have a minute, right, to get down the field, right? So Derek Carr passed to Tipton, got pushed out of bounds for 6 yards, and then he took the big shot to Rashid Shaheed, and it didn't pay off. But my thing is was I don't know. I feel like you could have managed that a little better. You had 55 seconds, 2nd and 4. You're at your own 36. All you need to do is get in field goal range. Didn't have any timeouts, though. But like I said, there could have been better ways to manage it. So, yeah, I don't necessarily agree with the decision that he made on the end of the game there. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. If Kubiak can figure out what made him want to throw that ball and can figure out why he made the decision he made to force the ball in the middle of the field like that, really just interested to see what Kubiak can gain from Derek Carr's decision making, because whatever that is, we need to figure that out. We need to figure out what Derek Carr's decision process is, what Kubiak's play calling, and put that together to create like a perfect marriage almost. Really good offensive play calls with Derek Carr, and then just I don't know. I'm just thinking it's tough, but it's something to work towards. That's kind of just where I'm at with the Saints-Eagles game, though. It was a good game. It was a good tested game against a team that's a Super Bowl contender, and I thought we played very well. If we lose 15-12 against Super Bowl contending teams, I'm not going to complain. I'm interested to see how the Kansas City Chiefs game is going to go when we have to go at Kansas City. I'm curious to see how that's going to play out for us. But regardless, we'll be moving on to our next topic here, which is going to be an interesting one. So, yeah, moving on to that. All right. Our next topic is the LSU UCLA full recap. So again, I kind of got into it with Parker. I gave my quick takeaways on it, but I didn't give my full opinion on the LSU UCLA game, being there as a fan, seeing that. So kind of just diving into it again. Really tough first half for us, honestly, against UCLA, a team that only scored 13 points against Indiana, though Indiana's looking very well in the Big Ten there. I mean, there's a lot of good things to take away, right? We were able to move the ball, but being tied with UCLA, letting them go down and driving down the field to tie the game up at halftime was pretty what's the word I'm looking for? Pretty upsetting. Although UCLA did have turnovers, we didn't turn the ball over any. They only had 295 yards of total offense. We had 454. We had 26 first downs, 33 minutes of possession to their 17 first downs and 26 minutes of possession. Really good improvement. And we saw this last year with the LSU team. Is we saw that improvement after losing week 1, and it happens every year, is that we'll just get better and better and better. But my thing is we can't be falling into the same formula, right? When it comes time to play Ole Miss after South Alabama week, we're going to have to be ready. We got to skip that jump. You cannot go from where we did last year to this year, right? Because we were in the same sort of situation when we got to Ole Miss, right? We played Florida State, lost. Grambling, we beat. Mississippi State, we beat. Arkansas, we beat only by 3 versus KJ Jefferson and Raheem Sanders. I was there. I would know. And then we had to go at Ole Miss, and we lost 55-49. So what I'm saying is like, looking at all this right here, it's fine if you want to casually get better throughout the season, right? But my biggest thing is you got to be able to consistently get better. And then since we're playing Ole Miss earlier on after South Alabama this weekend, you got to make that jump. You have to make that jump. You don't have time to play the Arkansas, to play the Mississippi States, to play the Grambling. You played Nichols, played South Carolina, barely escaped. You played UCLA, 34-17 win. Was an impressive win. It was impressive in the second half. I don't know what their second half total yards were. I'll have to look here, but it was an impressive second half. I mean, the second half we dominated. We hardly gave them any yards in the second half. It was quite amazing, honestly, how well our defense stepped up in the second half and played. But my biggest thing is you got to bring that energy and bring that passion and bring that same thing you brought into the second half of that game and use it every single just use it throughout the whole game. And when we play Ole Miss, you're going to have to play at that standard the entire game. The Ole Miss is not a team to sit there and play lackadaisical defense in the first half and then come out in the second half and try to either catch up or on that level. You know what I'm saying? You can't play catch up against Ole Miss. Even if it's at LSU. So I'm interested to see the environment and the crowd to see how well we're going to do, bringing that energy, bringing that the crowd noise to Ole Miss, and hopefully our defense shows up for that game. I'm interested to see how that's going to go, though. Like I said, 34-17 win. If you want to go back and watch that game, like I said, we were favored. I think the line was for that game minus I think it was minus 21, so we didn't cover the line, not even close. I mean, it was tough. I did, and there was an article here I just saw too that there was boos in Tiger Stadium during halftime. I didn't hear the boos. I'm sure there were a couple of boos though. But it's the thing that I was just saying a second ago. You know, you can't start slow against good teams. I'm not saying UCLA, for instance, in this instance, but when we play Ole Miss, you cannot start slow. You're not going to start slow against Jackson Dart and Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin is going to go at you all four quarters. He's going to take the shots. He's going to push the aggression on you. He's not going to rest, and he's not going to let up any in the Ole Miss game, especially at Tiger Stadium. You want to push the aggression and score first and just quiet the crowd, quiet the noise. So if I'm Brian Kelly and I'm LSU and I'm Blake Barker, you really have to reach to the defense and harp on them. Whatever you did in the second half of that UCLA game, you need to bring that same energy and that same what should I call it? That same passion you brought in the second half for this Ole Miss game. You got to play all four quarters. Nick Saban's famous for saying that. You got to play all four quarters. But my biggest complaint of this game was Cade Durham, 2 catches, 40 yards, 6 carries, 14 yards. But that he did get a touchdown off one of the 35-yard catches. But my biggest thing is Cade Durham played amazing in that South Carolina game, and then we hardly played him in the UCLA game. And my biggest thing is, like, why? I get Josh Williams as a senior. I get Caleb Jackson as a veteran. But we got to play Cade Durham, man. I think Cade Durham is our best back on the team. I really do. I think he provides versatility in the run and pass game as opposed to Josh Williams and Caleb Jackson. Now, Josh Williams can catch the ball out of the backfield. I just don't think he's as big as a receiving threat as Caden Durham is. I really think we need Durham to be that guy. I really think he needs to be that guy to be the starting running back because it provides different looks. He's like Clyde Edwards-Helaire on that 2019 team. He provides a bunch of different looks for the defense. When he's out there, who knows if you're gonna pass it to him or run it with him, run an RPO, whatever. It's gonna be interesting. And the other biggest complaint I have, and I agree with my dad wholeheartedly, I've said this before, and I just stopped caring to say it because they still do it, and why do they do it? I have no clue, and no one in the world would understand why they do it. But regardless, I'm so tired of seeing Garrett Nussmeier have to run, a read option. I'm tired of it. I don't know who's calling that. I don't know if it's Kelly. I don't know if it's our OC. I'm tired of seeing Garrett Nussmeier run a read option. It makes no sense. We all understand Garrett Nussmeier is not a running threat. When we run a read option, you can see the safety or the linebacker or the defensive end come down hard on the running back because there's no run threat from Garrett Nussmeier. So why are we running an or a read option, And we run a read option in the goal, like inside the 5-2, trying to score. It's not going to work, man. It's not going to work. I don't know what we're doing with the read option. I don't know why we keep running the read option. That needs to come one of two things. that either needs to come out of our playbook and come out of our play call, or we need to put Ricky Collins in or Colin Hurry or someone that's a little bit quicker that can run the read option, because it's not Garrett Nussmeier. Garrett Nussmeier is not a running threat. And then finally, I'm interested to see if Chris Hilton will be getting back out there for the Ole Miss game. I hope he takes the week off against South Alabama. No need to risk another re-injury or anything like that. But if we can get Chris Hilton back out there with Lacey and Parker and, um, gosh, goodness me, Xavier Thomas, if we can get him out there with those guys, I think we're going to be in a good position regarding our receivers coming into this game. And then, of course, Harold Perkins, a big loss for us. That's going to be really tough to replace him. But honestly, and I'm not saying this in a bad way, and I wish for a speedy recovery for Harold Perkins, but we played very well on defense when Perkins wasn't out there. And I don't mean that in a bad way, truly, but I think we looked pretty nice out there when Perkins wasn't out there. So we'll see how the defense looks for a full 4 quarters now that Perkins is out the entire year. Hate to hear that, but Savion Jones has really stepped up for the Tigers at that defensive end position. He's applied a lot of pressure on the outside, so it's good to see that. So I'm curious to see how Whit Weeks can step up for the defense at the linebacker position. Greg Penn needs to step up as a senior and play a little bit better in that linebacker position as well. Really, really interested to see how Weeks does and Penn does there. So that's kind of my full takeaway from the LSU UCLA game and what's to come for the LSU Tigers, and I'm interested to see how that's going to work out for us. So yeah, we're going to move on to our next topic in a moment. All right, so getting into our next topic here, Parker, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm good.
All right. So we got a lot to talk
Special
about.
caller? Am I special caller?
No, you're not, unfortunately.
Oh, I'm not special.
Did you want to be?
Can I be?
No.
Oh,
We don't need you to be,
oh.
unless you want to be.
No, it's okay.
Okay, well, that's on you then. I'm not showing the Ah, there we go. Okay, as you can see here, I guess we could update this.
I cannot see it.
I'm guessing I got my Monday Night Football wrong. I'm gonna say I went 8-8. I think I called the Bills right, or maybe not. Let me check. While we're
I'm
getting
giving
this
you
pulled up
2-star
here.
reviews.
Let me
I,
check here.
I cannot see. I'm giving 2-star review.
You can't see.
I cannot see.
Did you try opening your eyes?
No.
Yes.
Was I supposed to do that?
No. But now you are. So you picked Bills and Bengals, so you went 8-8 for sure. 8-8 for sure. Where did I go though? What did I go? I think I went Bengals and yeah, we both oh no, I went 8-8. You went 10-6. That's great. That's a great record right there for week
Nice.
3. Yeah, that's great.
I'll take it.
So as we updated that, I'm glad you guys joined us for that riveting update. As you can see on the screen here, we have our scores update, right? Parker over here. I guess that changes your overall thing. Your overall record, which would be 25 and 50. Oh, sorry, 20 and no, that's 25. 25 and what is that? 16 is 12, 22, 25, and 22. Not bad. Not bad for you.
Hey, we're positive.
We were
We're
both
above
15 and
500.
16, so unfortunate. I think you outdid me. I think you're outdoing me right now. This is bad. This is a bad look for a guy
Well,
who
we still got plenty of weeks left.
runs the show. This is a horrible look. Not just kidding. I'm 23 and 24. So,
Yikes, bro.
hey man, we don't need the negativity here. All right, so Now that we got everything updated on screen for you guys as we're recording here, overall record: Parker 25-22, me 23-24. He went 10-6 in week 3. I went 8-8. Yeah, just kind of your thoughts on the NFL weekend. A lot of games. Tennessee still looks bad, of course. I mean, we can break it down real quick, game by game. I kind of already dove into the Eagles and the Saints a little bit, but what was your take on that? Eagles and Saints, 15-12 thrilling game.
Oh yes, very offensive game there, very high scoring. 3 points going into that last quarter, and then both teams decided that they would get some points. But no, it
Yeah,
was a close game until the end. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I picked the Eagles there, so I don't think I was too surprised with the outcome. But it was a close game.
yeah. I think I went Eagles too, just because. Actually, did I pick Saints or Eagles? What did I pick?
I will
Uh,
say the Saints have looked much better than I expected them to this year,
yeah,
and
you
the
gave us no
Eagles, on the
credit.
other hand,
Nah, I
yeah,
picked
Eagles on
Eagles.
the other hand have
Yeah.
not looked as good as I thought they would. So
Yeah, I picked. Yeah, that was bad. And then moving on, we got the Giants Browns. Giants surprising me, man. Daniel Jones 236, and the Malik Neighbors popping off as well. Malik Neighbors having a big game, 8 catches, 78 yards, 2 touchdowns. One was a nice toe tapper. That was pretty good, man. Malik is coming out, bro.
yep, they got their first win on the year. Granted, it was against a Browns team that might not be too great, but always good to be in the win column. Coming from a guy that is on a team that, well, cheers for a team that doesn't have a win yet.
They don't?
Nope.
Oh, wow. Shocker. No, I'm
It
just
is
kidding.
shocking.
Speaking of that team, we have the Packers and the Titans. Packers
hmm
and Malik Willis absolutely cooking the Titans 30-14. Kind of 6 carries, 73 yards and a touchdown. Kind of it's getting late in Tennessee. Sun's already going down and it's only 3 weeks in. It's not looking good.
Yeah, they again, just like the first couple weeks, they got no one to blame other than themselves. I don't know what it is with Levis, but he loves to pass the ball to the other team.
Well,
I don't know why. I'm not
well, and
sure what
then
his game plan is.
just speaking of that, let's go ahead and pull up this picture here of Will Levis. Just amazing. Look at this. Look at this. Quite beautiful picture of Will Levis here. I mean, it's thrilling. I mean, you got him. Oh no, I threw a pick to here, man. Catch this, and then lastly, just getting demolished on a blindside hit. So, really generational stuff for Will Levis here. Honestly, what a run! What a run he's been on. This is an insane run, truly,
Yeah, I'm not
and I'm
sure
honored
what
to be a part
exactly
of
is
it.
going on. Our running game didn't really get much going at all that game as well. Pollard hasn't done anything crazy yet, but I mean they didn't even try to run it too much this
It
past
was
game. They
that.
had
It
like
was
10
that.
rushes.
What was that Mayo de Parfum? It's not
hmm
the success of that is the failure of the team. So, I mean, he didn't have a bad game. He had a 92 rating as a QBR, or QBR was 15. His rating was 92. Sorry, his QBR was 15, which is horrible.
Yes.
But but
No, he had a
but
bad
8 sacks for 56. That's a lot of sacks, bro. That's a lot of
Yep.
sacks.
Well, part of the reason why he's put in the predicament that he is because the offensive line is not giving him any time. Now, with that being said, his decision making when the pocket collapses is not great, and that's the problem. But no, the offensive line, I mean, I don't know who you're gonna put in there at quarterback.
Smiley
That
Coffin.
would you got to put someone back there that's just able to run for their life for every single snap. That it's not someone that can actually get a pass off. So there's a few things that are wrong with the team.
Well, on that note, moving on, we have the Bears, and versus the Colts. Caleb Williams. People are already talking about how great Oduze was with 6 catches, 112 yards, and Caleb Williams, 363 yards and 2 touchdowns. But need I remind you, he had 33 of 52 passes. I hope he can get 363 yards when you pass the ball 52 times. I mean, come on. I mean, what was the average? What was even his average that game? His average yard per pass
Basically
was
10 or
less
11.
than 10. It was 7. It was 7 yards per pass per
Oh,
completion.
I thought meant per completion.
That's what I'm
You
saying.
mean
Yeah, it was
per
7
per
yards per
attempt at 7. For
the average was
completions, it's
7.
just over.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
for
yeah,
attempts.
yeah, yeah, yeah. For attempts then. Yeah, interesting stuff there, honestly. Truly amazing. What a guy.
Yeah,
Nah, that was
they're
insane though.
struggling over there.
The Bears. Moving on though, we got the Minnesota Win Kings. Because they do is win. Versus the Texans, who Parker had winning the Super Bowl. Parker, let's. What happened to the Texans, man? How you gonna let Sam Darnold and the Vikings cook?
Oh, you act as if I'm upset that the Texans lost. I'm not upset that they lost at all.
He is
Uh,
very
I did
upset.
not
He
I did
texted
not
me during
expect.
that.
Oh yeah, for sure. I did not expect the Vikings to start off 3-0 on the season. I would have never called that.
Oh, I I,
Uh,
I called that. I'm
Sam
straight.
Darnold, part of his problem, or I wouldn't really want to say his problem, but the situation that he was in, he wasn't really playing for a team that he could do much with. So I think he's got a team around him now. After being on the Jets forever, that he's now got a team around him that he can actually play for, and he's succeeding, obviously. So he's got some weapons for him to pass to, and yeah, they're just rolling along. They got no issues over there, it seems.
And then moving on, we got the 3-0 Steelers, who I did pick to win the division, by the way. And they're already 3-0 in their play. They beat the Chargers 20-10, like I said. Steelers are the team. Honestly, I said the Steelers were my sleeper team, man. Starting out 3-0 in the year. I said they could probably win the AFC North, and how the Bengals are playing, and the Ravens losing to the Raiders earlier in the week after beating the Cowboys, which we'll get into that. But the Cowboys honestly aren't that great of a team. And then the Browns looking the way they do. Honestly, man, I'll be shocked if the Steelers don't win that division.
Yeah, Steelers aren't looking too bad. Justin Fields is looking a lot better than I think we've seen him look in the NFL so far. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Have you seen him look this good yet in the NFL?
Yeah, I actually have, when he was on the Bears starting out, until they gave up hope on him and just gave up on him. And then Mike Tomlin saw the potential and was like, I'll take him. And then turns him into a quarterback that's 25 for 32, 245 and a touchdown, and 3 consecutive wins. So, yikes. Now, the biggest question is not that. The biggest question is not, and Austin had 4 catches, 95 yards, and a touchdown. But, and funny enough, Quinn Johnson is also having a great year. 2 catches, 44 yards, and a touchdown. He's finally stepping up into a receiving role that he's supposed to be in. But my biggest question with this team is, when Russell Wilson is healthy, how do you make that decision? You can't bench Fields, can you? You can't bench him now. 3-0,
Yeah,
2
I'm
wins
not
on the
sure how
road,
they're
10-0.
going to approach that situation because, it starts off 3-0. I mean,
And
it's hard
you
to
signed Wilson
take
to
that
all that
away.
money.
Yeah, but and that's the argument. It's like, well, we spent a good amount of money to bring this guy on in, so
I mean, can you really? I don't know, man. It's tough. Do you sit? Do you bench Fields, or do you? It's tough, man. It's tough. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do, because he's not turning it over, and he's moving the ball nicely down the field, and he's just doing what they need to do to win. So I mean, we'll see. We'll have to see. It's gonna be interesting up in Pittsburgh. But moving on south, we got the Broncos in a absolute fashionable loss against Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos. Glad to see the Bucks have not lost their taste of losing to bad teams. So Baker Mayfield, 25 for 33, 163 and a touchdown and a pick. Bucky Irving, their rookie, 9 carries for 70 yards. Bo Nix, 216, and of course a rushing touchdown for him. Not a bad game for Mr. Bo Nix.
yeah, I mean, he finally got a win, right? But I still don't see much in Bo Nix long term, but maybe that's just me.
They're gonna win every game out. So, moving on though, we have the Carolina Daltons versus the Las Vegas Raiders. The Daltons winning 36-22 against the Raiders. Big win for them. First win on the year. Thought it was downhill from there, but no. Chuba Hubbard, 21 carries, 114 yard. The man who owns the team, Andy Dalton, 26 for 37, 319, and 3 touchdowns. And Deontay Johnson, 8 catches, 122, and a touchdown. Good for the Daltons, man. Good for them. That was a good win.
Yeah, I mean, most everybody they knew Bryce Young wasn't playing well, but they were saying, well, yeah, the team's just that bad. And then Andy Dalton walks in, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and he does his thing. And then you're looking at it and you're thinking, oh, well, maybe Bryce Young is just that bad. And if that's the case, that's not a good look for a 1 year removed draftee quarterback right there. But it seems like Dalton's gonna be here to stay for a bit. Good for him. Finally in the win column. But do you see Bryce Young coming back to the field anytime soon? Because I don't.
Not as a starter, but I think this is the best possible thing for Bryce Young. And what I mean by that is I think that was a good thing that he got benched because now he can learn behind Dalton. And I've always said that, in my opinion, every rookie quarterback needs to learn. There's some guys like Jaden Daniels, Joe Burrow, exceptional generational talent guys who don't need it. But Bryce Young is not one of them just based off his size and his skill. I think he could be a solid quarterback, kind of like Baker Mayfield in the league. I think he just needs to learn, I think he just needs some years to sit behind and learn a little bit.
Yeah,
So,
maybe that would be beneficial for him being able to
and there's nothing
watch
wrong
Dalton
with that.
maybe.
There's nothing wrong with that at all. I would say, listen, you got to learn, you got to embrace the uncomfortness of being a backup, But moving on, we got the Seattle Seahawks versus the Miami can't never held a lead Finns. In fact, that is the case of the Miami Dolphins. They have, in fact, never held a lead the entire season so far. They've never, had the lead or held it. So, pretty bad stuff going down in Dolphin land down there. But the Seahawks looking pretty good. 3-0, 2-0 home. Geno Smith, 26 for 34, 289, a touchdown. DK going for 4 catches, 104 and a touchdown. And who's that? Walker was out, right? Yeah, it was Zach Charbonneau.
Charbonneau. Yeah.
Charbonneau. Yeah. He went 18 carries, 91 yards, 2 touchdowns. So, I mean, without
Yeah,
Walker,
he had a real good game.
they balling out still, man.
Yeah, that Seahawks team, I mean, very first quarter, they went up by 14 and never looked back. I didn't realize until you just said that Miami, have they really not been up at all at any point during the games?
They have not held or had a lead at all this year.
Wow, that's impressive. But yeah, first statement win for the Seahawks so far. They've had a couple close games in these first couple weeks. They've obviously won each game, so it's good to see that they can win both in those tight fashions and also win in those dominant fashions. So hopefully they keep them moving. I don't think I predicted them to do anything too crazy this year, but they're looking good so far.
Yeah, so to build off of what I said from ESPN stats, the Dolphins are the only team in the NFL to not hold a lead for a single second this season, even though they did get a win. The reason why they say that is because their lone lead was a Jason Sanders game-winning field goal versus the Jaguars, but it came as time expired. So
Makes
they've
sense.
never held an actual lead for a single second in the actual game clock. So,
Well, you know what makes that even worse?
Is that they won a game.
They've got more wins than my Titans.
Who have again. So before we move on, let's discuss real quick. What stat is worse? Losing a game with the team not scoring a single offensive touchdown, 24-17, or having not held a lead for the entire season so far through 3 weeks? What's worse? Let's debate. Let's debate.
If I'm just looking at that, like stat wise,
Yeah, between the two.
If I don't know anything else about the teams and I'm just given those two stats, I would say the one that looks worse is the team that's never held a lead 3 weeks in. Like that's just not a good sign.
Yeah,
at
no,
all.
I'm with you. I'm with you there. But moving on, afternoon game. Tom Brady covered this game. He did excelente, as always. Ravens 28-25 win with the Cowboys trying to make a comeback in the fourth quarter, scoring 19 points in the fourth. Derrick Henry, 25 carries, 151 yards, 2 touchdowns. Dak Prescott, 28 for 51, 379, and 2 touchdowns. You can talk and sit here all you want, you Cowboy Glazers, how Dak Prescott's not a bad QB, but come on now. I mean, dude was averaging 7.4 yards per attempt. The completion percentage was not really that great, and quite honestly, he had you guys in the hole. What was it? 54% completion, 7.4 yards per attempt. Not really a great game, honestly, from Dak. Even though he had 379 and 2 touchdowns, it was really just like 51 pass attempts. Like, man, uh, if you're going to be paid, is he the highest quarterback? Paid highest quarterback in the league? Highest paid QB. Let's
I can't
see.
remember.
He
Every
is
new quarterback contract is the new highest, I
he's in
swear.
fact the highest at 60 million. So if you're going to be the best or the highest paid quarterback in the league, you cannot go 28 for 51 and 7.4 yards per attempt. But Lamar Jackson having a solid game, 12 for 15, 182 yards, a touchdown, also 14 carries on 87 yards rushing and a touchdown as well. So solid game from Jackson and Henry, the dynamic duo for Baltimore, who is going to win the Super Bowl, of course. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, really? Is that your call?
No, 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 no. I just like saying it because they beat the Cowboys. Any team that beats the Cowboys normally goes on and wins the Super Bowl. Let's be honest.
Yeah, well, the Baltimore's first one of the year, they finally got that 1-2 punch with Jackson and Derrick Henry that everybody expected, especially on that running front. We hadn't really seen much from Derrick Henry until this game into the season. And I guess that was the difference maker in the end as far as getting in the win column. All three of their games have ended up as a close scoring game. They tried their hardest in the end to throw this, but they came out still with the win on top, and looks like most teams are getting in that win column.
Yep. And then moving on to the LA Parkers, because Parker did have them winning the NFC champion, or sorry, just not winning the NFC champion, to win the NFC or be the number one seed in the NFC at the end of the year. The Rams coming back, strong effort against the 49ers, down Christian McCaffrey, Brock Purdy, 22 for 30, 292 and 3 touchdowns. Jawan Jennings had 11 catches, 175 and 3 touchdowns, while Kyrie Williams for the Ravens for the Rams had 24 carries, 89 yards, 3 touchdowns as well. One is a receiving, and then Tutu Atwell, of course, 4 catches, 93 yards. How about your Rams, man? How about your Georgia Rams?
Yeah, they've not looked as great as I would expect it either. They got this win obviously, but it's a banged up 49ers team as we all know.
Well,
Uh,
well,
Credit to Purdy and Jennings. Both of them had great games, but team itself did not do enough in the end. They
before
they
we
kind of blew it.
I was gonna say to help you out here before we say banged up Niners team. Let's remember Cooper Cup and Nukua are both out as well. So with Debo and
Yeah,
Christian McCaffrey out, it's only fair that
that's
we
fair. Yeah.
mention Cup and Puka out as well.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
pretty
both
even.
both teams
Pretty
missing
even.
lots of guys. That's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, the 49ers, they were winning that game, and then they decided to stop playing when the fourth quarter rolled around and blew the lead.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm kind of sad to see that the Rams won that one because two of the Georgia NFLers won this week, and that's it's never a good thing. So, uh, moving on to the Sunday, or sorry, the last afternoon game before the Sunday night game, we have the Lions versus the Cardinals. Kyler Murray still played a decent game, but the Lions were too much for them, winning 20-13. Not really too much going on there, just a solid win for the Detroit Lions. So.
Yeah, I don't got too much to add to that
Yeah,
one.
honestly. But the big one was the Chiefs versus the 1-3 or 1-2 Chiefs, really 3-0, but the 1-2 Chiefs winning 22-17 against the Falcons, which should have been called a defensive pass interference at the end there, but I digress. We're not going to get into that too much because we all know how Chiefs fans are. Moving on though, Kirk Cousins 20 for 29, 230, touchdown, one pick. Bijan honestly was probably the reason they lost that game. I mean, Carson still 17 carries, 72 yards, averaging 4 yards carry, and while Bijan only had 16 for 31 yards and 1.9 yards carry, so they did contain him pretty well. Drake London still looking really good, 6 catches, 67 yards, and a touchdown. And then, of course, Rashee Rice, 12 catches, 110 yards, and a touchdown for him. So really good for Rice as well.
Yeah, I know Chiefs got the win, but I mean that for all of the 3-0 teams, for the handful that we have so far, I think they're the weakest of them. Every single game, they're barely winning them, and I feel like we can both agree that they're getting some help, but we won't get too much into that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think I think
I
Falcons
don't want to glaze
were
too
the
hard on
better
the
team.
fact that they they are getting bailed out nonstop. So
Yeah, I think Falcons were the better team. I agree with you. If Bijan Robinson had gotten the run game going, which obviously never got started, so good on the Chiefs there. But I feel like that was the difference maker. If they could have had some runs going there, it may have been a different outcome.
yeah, and then moving on to Monday night, really don't have to get into the Bills. I think the Bills are. I really do think Josh Allen could easily win MVP this year. Just what he's doing with the Bills, with the two dominant wins against the Dolphins and the Jaguars, and then that comeback win he had at the Cardinals week 1, 47-10 win against the Jaguars. It is hell in Duval. Not as beauty, sunshine, and rainbows as I thought it would be. It's quite burning, fiery, and hell in Duval with Trevor Lawrence not playing great at all. 47-10 loss for them. Great win for Josh Allen, and honestly, probably will win MVP this year. Low key, I probably am okay saying that too.
Wow, that's a
I
big
mean,
call right there.
dude is balling out with the team he has. Dude is balling. He
Yeah,
balling.
that Jacksonville team, they are struggling. I don't know what they did well last night. Watching
Nothing.
it going on, I
Nothing.
mean, just throughout the entire game, just beat down, beat down, beat down. Like they never stood a chance. So
In,
fun time in Buffalo last night for sure.
in fact, Mac Jones came in for one drive and had a better rating than Trevor Lawrence did in one drive at 66.7 compared to Lawrence's 65.5. So, uh,
He was in
two
for a
drives.
couple
It was like
drives.
one or two drives, I believe.
Yeah, and he didn't he fumble it on the first one?
No, no, no. That would never happen with Mac Jones. Don't slander him like that.
Oh, my
Unbelievable.
bad, my bad, my bad.
Unbelievable. I cannot believe you'd say that. It's unreal. But no, kind of looking here. Let me see. Did he fumble it? He might have. I think he fumbled it. Yeah, he fumbled it at the very end. But moving on to my LSU boys who all went off on Monday night. Jaden Daniels, the kid, 21 for 23, only two incompletions, 254, two touchdowns, averaging 11 yards per attempt. Had a rating of 141. Joe Burrow, 29 for 38, 324, 8 yards per attempt, three touchdowns. Also had a 127 rating. Of course, Jane Daniels also have 12 carries, 39 yards. And then Jamar Chase, my boy, 6 catches, 118 yards, two touchdowns. All my LSU boys went off last night, man. That was an LSU showcase right there. If that doesn't make recruits want to go to LSU, I don't know what does then, because they were balling.
Yeah, I'm sure that was fun to watch from your
Oh
POV.
my God, yes, I want to cry. Literally gonna cry.
Jaden Daniels, he was getting all of his flowers last night. He was getting all the praise after the game, rightfully so. He had a great game, one of the better games they've seen from a rookie quarterback in a long time in the NFL. Bengals, on the other hand, 0-3. Not a good start for him.
Very I will say very arguably could not be 0-3 though. Their losses, I mean, one was to the Chiefs getting bailed out. Uh, the Patriots one was close but didn't win that one. Looked pretty awful, and then this one as well. It really wasn't Joe Burrow. It was more the defense just couldn't stop Jane Daniels there.
Yeah, all
So
three games have been close, but
yeah,
I don't think much of anybody would have called or predicted the Bengals would start the season 0-3. Last time they did is when they started 0-11, and I think that was the year that they drafted Burrow. Is that correct?
It was
Or no? Was that the year
29,
that
the
he was
end
hurt?
of it was 2020. So it was because we won the
Okay.
Natty in 2019, 2019-2020 year. So it would have been that draft year, right
Yep.
there.
Yep. Yeah. Last time
So
they did that poorly was when they then went out and got Burrow.
yep.
So
But
worst start for him.
I will say, I'm glad we're doing this show because it's on record now. I did say that Jane Daniels was a more polished, going to be better than Williams, and it's proven, man. It's proven. Williams is not going to be better than Daniels, and I love after last night, everyone's finally recognizing it. I saw many posts saying Jane Daniels is by far like a miles ahead of what Williams is skill wise, and I'm like, bro, where have you guys been? Welcome, finally, welcome. Now you see what I saw because I mean it's easy for me to say since I saw him play in person, but it's like it's different when you don't get to see that. But
Yeah,
finally,
maybe the
but
same kind of thing with last year, Bryce Young, CJ Stroud. Bryce Young went #1 overall, but CJ Stroud has, far been the better quarterback between the two of them. And it took a little bit for everyone to realize, be like, oh, dang, Stroud is balling out, whereas,
yeah,
Bryce Young hasn't done anything. So 3 weeks in, same sort of scenario where the #2 has been looking better than the #1 kind of deal.
yeah, and I don't know. What we'll see. One of the people I met down at the LSU game said something really interesting, and I kind of agree with him on this too. Is he said that you're not gonna really know who could win the Super Bowl until about week 8. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, it's all facade. It could just be a facade. But when it's more, and that was my biggest thing I talked about a little earlier, is the consistency with Derek Carr and like how is that going to play out going forward? And I do agree. By week 8, we should kind of get a sense of who might be the teams to be in that discussion. So. Uh,
Yeah.
but moving on here, let's go ahead and let's do our week 4 picks, man. Let's do our week 4
No.
picks. Yeah, let's do it.
No. I
All
don't
right,
want.
let's start out with you.
Okay.
Since we love for you to go first.
Mhm.
I mean we don't, but we're going to anyway. Let's
Mhm.
get it pulled up here, like a Tarantino movie. All right. All right. You got the. I guess you want me to see the screen. Correct.
Mhm.
I just want to compare it with how our week 4 picks will go. You got Jacksonville at Houston.
I'm going Houston.
All right. Steelers at Colts. Based off what we've
Uh,
seen.
based off what we've seen so far, I'm gonna go Steelers. I would have to go back and look at the film, but I think I may have said Colts when we did this in preseason. But I'm going Steelers at this point.
All right. Are you going Broncos or Jets? Jet.
I'm gonna have to go Jets on this one.
All right. And then Kansas City versus the LA Chargers. I did pick LA Chargers. I know for a fact on my actual one.
Just based off what we've seen so far, it doesn't seem to be possible for the Chiefs to lose. They don't allow it to happen.
All right. And then Browns versus Raiders. Battle of trash.
Let's go Raiders.
Let's go Raiders.
Let's go
All right.
Raiders.
Bills versus Ravens. That would be a
This could
good
be a
one.
good one.
This could be
Yeah,
a generational one right here.
assuming we get the Ravens
What?
offense that we saw this past weekend, and assuming the Ravens defense plays better than they did towards the end of that last game, this could be a real good matchup. I think I'm gonna have to go with the Bills on this one though. I think they're looking good. I think they'll keep building off of that hot start they've had.
All right. Titans versus Dolphins.
It's sad. This is the team that hasn't won a game because they keep blowing it, and then last week when they didn't even get a chance to blow it, they just lost it outright. Versus the team that hasn't led a game yet, from what we talked about 10 minutes ago. I think this is the first game of the season that the Dolphins are winning at one point throughout the game, but I think it's also the game that they lose. I'm going Titans. We get our first win of the season.
All right. Bengals versus Panthers. Battle of the Cats.
Dalton's still starting, I'm guessing, yeah?
Yeah, you definitely want to go Dalton for sure. The Daltons. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for the Carolina Daltons.
Nice, nice, interesting. So 0-4 Bengals.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then Patriots at San Francisco. I mean, this one should be
I'm going, yeah, San Francisco. Go
yeah.
49ers here.
The boys versus the Giants.
Let's go with the Cowgirls.
All right, Minnesota versus Green Bay. Green Bay. I doubt Jordan Love will be
Minnes-
back.
Minnesota's been looking pretty good. I think I'm gonna have to go with Minnesota here.
All right, the LA Bulldogs versus the Chicago Bears. The Bears.
We're going LA Rams.
All right, and then the Philadelphia Bulldogs versus the Tampa Bay Bucks.
We'll go with the Eagles.
All right, the New Orleans Who Dat Nation versus the Atlanta Cousins. The Atlanta Cousins.
I'm gonna go. Ooh, this one. This one I feel like might be a good one. Could be a toss-up. I think I'm gonna go
That's just
Saints though.
disrespectful, though. It's calling it
I
a
think
toss-up. We're gonna mollywop them.
I don't know. I think it could be close, man.
Moving on, the Commanders and Jaden Daniels, the kid, versus Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison Jr. and the other guy. Who do you got for this one?
I'm gonna go with Pipsqueak quarterback. We're
Okay.
going Cardinals.
All right, finally, the Monday night I will be watching because I'm not gonna watch the Titans-Dolphins game. I rather, you know,
You don't want to watch that? What?
Seahawks versus the Lions. Who do you got for this one on Monday night?
This one, with what we've seen so far from both the teams, I think this could be a real fun one, real good game to watch. I'll be watching it with you most likely. I think I'm gonna have to go with Lions on this.
Okay, so this is you. I'm gonna go ahead and duplicate. Okay, or not.
Nice duplicate.
We'll get this running in a moment. Let's see if I can get. Well, it's like it's like
Technical difficulties. Please stand by
what
while
do
I
you do,
play
like,
this elevator music.
cue elevator music. All right,
We are now back from our scheduled commercial break.
all right.
Back to you in
We're
the
back.
studio, Andy.
All right, mine. I'm gonna rapid fire these. I'm not even gonna give an explanation. Here we go.
Okay.
Jacksonville. Steelers.
Okay.
Jets. Chargers. Browns. Ravens. Dolphins, because Will Levis's generational run. Give me the Bengals and the Niners. Give me the Giants. Give me the Packers. Give me the Rams, the Bucks, the Saints, the Commanders, and the Seahawks. That's where I'm at.
We got lots of opposing picks here. I like it.
I'm not gonna explain why. I'm gonna let you guys observe why. Watch this magic happen. Watch the magic happen.
Are you gonna put a 16-leg parlay down on this?
So I'm putting a 7-leg parlay down on this because I ain't doing the toss-ups. There's ones I'm confident on, but there's some I'm not. Like, I'm confident on the 49ers.
These picks seem pretty confident.
I'm confident on the 49ers, the Ravens, the Jets, the Rams, the Bucks, the Saints. So that's 7 right there. I might actually switch the Bucks out for the Commanders, but I think Baker gets the job done at home. I think the Eagles' defense, pass defense, is still, even though they held the Saints pretty low, it is Derek Carr again. I think with having Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Cade Otton, and if he's healthy, Rashard White, I don't think their pass defense is good enough to stop that threat. So that's what I'm going with. You went with your thing, I went with my thing, and now that is what's going to be coming ahead for week 4. Should be interesting. So, all right, guys. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. That's gonna be all from us today. We'll get into some UEFA Champions League talks, with the Europa talks as well, after tomorrow finishes up. So make sure you guys enjoy all your Europa. Is it just Europa or is it Europa Conference League too? I think it's just Europa. Enjoy your Europa league play. Parker, please say goodbye to these fine people of the show.
Bye.
Dude, that is like, come on, man. Gotta give them a good one.